Welcome to the Queen Amina Show. Today, believe it or not, is our 61st day. 61 days of shooting straight. Only God. Only God. So I am super excited today to give God praise because we have a transformational story that will transform your life. Not just that, I am celebrating my mother in the Lord also today, Pastor Mrs. Sam Oye. God bless you. Today is her birthday, so we're celebrating her. And also, I have another brand new baby born that was born into my friend's family, and I am just so happy today. I am celebrating the goodness of the Lord, and I hope all of you are celebrating something in your life too. And for those that are not celebrating anything, I pray that God will bring something for you to celebrate today. As you join us on the Queen Amina Show, our co-host today is none other than our beautiful Dr. Princess Mokolo. Welcome to the Queen Amina Show.
Hello, everyone. I'm celebrating my brother's birthday. A shout out to Tony Jonah and one of our mamas. And it's also Thomas Bollico had twin girls today.
Oh, wow.
Telling you, brother in the Lord, Thomas Bollico and Tony Jonah. God bless you all today.
So lots of celebration. And we are celebrating our brand new found sister out of Kenya, Angela Nzilani. We're celebrating life. We're celebrating success. We're celebrating transformation. Wow. Welcome to the Queen Amina Show. Can you hear us?
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me, Philomena. It's really an honor, and I'm happy to be here and share my story so that I heal someone because I'm a healed healer.
Amen. I love that. I love.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So guys, you guys gonna bear with us today because there's a delay in transmitting what we are saying from
I can hear you.
So you guys gonna bear with us, and hopefully we have a
Can you hear me?
Broadcasting. Yes, we can hear you.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us now?
She's coming back on, yes. A healed healer is what she called herself, right?
I love that, yes.
That is so beautiful. Yeah. You can't give what you don't have.
Exactly. So, Angela, can you hear us, Angela? Okay, let's give her a minute to just set up her stuff there, and she would be right back on. So, guys, if you're just coming in, share the broadcast. It's our culture. That's what we do here because we want many other people to be blessed. So don't be selfish now. Share the broadcast so they can, hear this powerful story that will transform somebody's life. It may not transform your life because maybe you don't need any more transformation, but you might know someone that would need to hear this story of encouragement. Angela, are you back on?
I can hear you, but it is breaking. It is really breaking.
Okay, so
maybe we should let her just jump right into her story once she gets here.
Yes, and then she would come right back. So, Dr. Princess, I am going to interview you. No, just kidding. But seriously,
someday I'll give you, I'll give you a scoop someday. About my story.
Right?
It's a bestseller.
Bestseller. So we won't just tell the story, we'll do a movie out of it.
How did you know?
I know because I have a story too. We all have a story. You know what I'm saying?
We all have a story. We all have a survival story.
That's right. The beauty of the whole deal is when your story can heal you and you become a healer. So I love what
And
Angela said.
when you don't look like what you've been through.
That's the beauty of the whole thing, right?
Yes,
We got
yes.
her back. Hey Angela, we got you back.
She's joining us all the way from Kenya. So bear with us, people.
Yeah. Techie. Devil, you're a liar. We're gonna have this show and it's gonna be very beautiful. Are we good, Angela? Okay, it's still static where she is at. Um,
She has a powerful story to share, and that story is going to change some lives. And that's why the network is giving us issues, but we're going to overcome this network problems. We are going to hear her story. It's going to encourage someone
you
out
good
there
now?
today.
Yeah, it's good now.
Yay! Okay.
Oh
I
dear.
know we're gonna get it. Angela, I think
Yes.
we're gonna start right away because I know it's pretty late your time in Kenya. And thank you so very much for taking the time and having the courage to come and share your story, not just to Queen Amina and Dr. Princess, but to the world. And there's a purpose why you are sharing this story. It's not to say, oh, come pity me. No. Your
Mhm.
story, you
Yeah.
start by saying that you are a healed. So before we get into your story, I just want you to tell us a little bit about who is Angela.
Angela Nzilani is a lady who is very passionate about inspiring somebody and just creating change in the society by healing somebody, because you find that around us so many people are wounded in their hearts, in their lives, and being wounded is not about someone really doing anything to you. It could be even something that you did to yourself. It could be the life itself hurting you. So healing is not about somebody that has done something to you. So I'm very passionate about this because for me, I look at it as a gift that God has given me to just touch another person's life.
Wow, that's a powerful statement right there. I don't know how many people would be able to say that their pain is a gift that God has given to you. So, without much ado, I would let you just tell us about growing up so that we establish the fact that you're not just one street woman that got picked up by one guy. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, we're going to start talking
Yes.
from how did you grow up so we can establish that.
I grew up in a village. I'm a daughter of two teachers. My parents were teachers, and I grew up in a Christian family. My parents were really staunch Christians, and they taught us about a good character. They taught us about the Bible and loving others, serving others, and sharing with others. I went to my school in the village. That's my primary school. Actually, one of those stories you see in the internet or in the news of students going to school without shoes, because the whole community, everyone was not wearing shoes. So even if our parents are teachers and they could afford shoes for us, we felt better to connect with other kids by just being like them. So that is how I grew up, doing house chores and working in the farm. And I went to my high school. It was a similar situation before I came now to the city to continue with my education in college. So I grew up in a very, very humble beginning, I would say that.
And you said you are the eighth born of 10 children.
Yes.
Was that
My mother had 10 children in total.
was that difficult to be? What number are you? Girls, boys, or all girls, all boys?
We were four boys and four girls. Some have passed on. We are now left with six, but we
Okay, we're losing her again there, but I'm pretty sure she's gonna come right back on. So, Dr. Princess, she grew up well to the story we're gonna be listening to later. It's not like she was from one street that somebody just picked up on the street. So, yeah, go ahead. We can hear you.
yeah, I was saying that we were eight, we were 10. I was the eighth born out of all those children. I think our parents are really strong to be able to have all those children. But
And
but yeah, and sorry, my kids are interfering. But yeah, we grew up together and friendly. We were friends, and up to today, we are still friends, all of us. So growing up, all of us together was really a good thing because we encouraged each other. We learned to share. We learned to be together as a family.
So, when did you begin to leave home and live by yourself? I understand also from one of your video that you became a mother at a very tender age also. So, how did it all begin? When did you leave home?
if she can hear us, let her just tell us the whole story. Let her tell us
That's
the
where
whole
that's
story
where I'm leading her to.
Uh,
Leading
because
her
she's
to.
not hearing us.
After high school, I came to Nairobi. I was living with my elder brother, and yeah, he was taking care of me. I went to school. I did. I went to do accounting in. Okay, okay, okay. Good, good. I can hear you. I can hear you. So I went. Just a minute.
That's okay.
Three.
That's okay.
That's the beauty of
Okay.
motherhood.
So, guys, we're going to bring her back on, and she's going to, I'm trying to slowly lead her into telling us the story. This is not about just story, it's about, walking through a life of someone that has experienced some things that are very unique to life today. And a lot of people are going through this, but are not bold enough to come out and talk about it. So, I don't just want her to just jump into telling a story. We're not telling a story. We want to walk you through step by step her life, where she was, what she walked through, and where she is now. So that way, the audience, will really truly understand the power of focus, the power of believing in yourself, the power of not allowing your pains to become a stumbling block for you. Let's see if she's back on now, and we can go through this. Okay, well, let's try a minute. I don't know how to just bring. Oh yeah, so we can be on. Yeah, so Dr. Princess, she's going to come back. The reason why I'm trying to establish the step-by-step walk through is sometimes when you watch this kind of stories on the internet, it sounds like either a movie or it sounds like the person is the quick to conclusion kind of things. People would be like, oh, it's because of the way she grew up. oh, because she left herself, that's why this happened. No. So I like to, establish certain things just to let our audience know that this is, it's not anyhow kind of person that fell into, just to let you know that anybody can fall into stuff like this. So it's not
Yeah,
just
the daughter of two teachers. I mean, it can't get any better than that.
exactly. So hopefully we get her back, and yeah, she would. I would encourage strongly that you guys stick around, don't go anywhere. She's going to be back, and we're going to have a great show today. But while you're waiting, just look down your phone and share the video. Invite others to come watch, join us, like our page on YouTube channel. We are doing very well on YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for everyone that is subscribed to our channel there. Um, Let me see if I can call to talk to her. So, Dr.
Yes,
Princess,
we can also do audio.
that's what I want to tell her, to see if she can call in.
Right. Well, ladies out there, we can we hear the very popular cliche, no pain, no gain. Oftentimes, the things that happen to us in our lives become the stepping stone for us to achieve, greatness, achieve the next level of success. Sometimes our pain and our disappointments and our challenges may be what it takes for us to step out of our comfort zone and finally take that leap. Sometimes we're afraid to take that leap, we're afraid to make that jump, and it takes, something uncomfortable, something unprecedented, to make us discover our best self, discover our inner strength, discover the very next level. These stories, cannot be told enough. We have so many testimonies of people who, discovered themselves on the journey out of their challenges and their pain.
I
Is
think
she
we got
back?
her back. I
Okay.
think so, but let's see. Yeah. All right, Angela, welcome back.
Oh, I'm very sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry for disappearing. My internet
Don't,
has issues. I don't know
don't
why,
worry
for some
about it.
reason.
We're very used to this, so don't worry about it. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I was talking about me getting a job somewhere after doing my accounting, and I got a job in a construction firm. And when I was just along the way, I felt that I wanted to do something different. So I enrolled myself to, yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello? Hello,
Yes.
hello.
We hear you loud and clear.
Yes. So I think we shouldn't say anything because she's getting the what we're saying much later. So yeah,
There's a delay. Yes, there's
yeah,
a delay.
You can hear me?
yes, yes.
Wow. Okay. So, so I did I got a job and I was doing well. I enrolled myself for a degree in marketing. And in my first semester, I got pregnant, and the relationship that I was in. So I got pregnant when I was on my first semester in the university. And school became difficult, but I still continued, and I continued working at the same place. And along the way, I started a business in the construction company. I mean, farm. I opened a construction company of my own, and I was doing well. I started doing well, and in 2009, I resigned and continued with my business. So it was doing really good, and I was having good money for myself and my kid. And then along the way, I started feeling, as a woman, you start, or as a human being, you start feeling some kind of need to settle down, to have someone in your life. And I met this guy in 2014, and we beginning of 2014, and we hit the road very fast. And this guy was a foreigner, and being a foreigner, I don't know, my perception was that it was okay for him to be struggling here and there, of course. And of course, I was a bit biased on that, or yeah, I wasn't much, I don't know, mature or something. But after a few months of dating, he moved into my house. I took care of him, and I was doing everything in the house, almost everything, until now. Um, Now we started planning on having a family, because we started talking about, now we are together, we are together, we should have a kid, another kid. I already had the first one. So I got pregnant, and after some time, I started getting broke, because I stopped doing the business I was doing. The project I had at that time when I was meeting him got finished, and I went ahead, and I just stopped working somehow, for some reason. I wasn't feeling so okay with the pregnancy and going out and all that. So money now started diminishing, and this guy started going out to look for money. I got him a work permit. I got him a driving license, so he could go out with my car and source for work. He was in the football business as an agent. So at the whole of this time, I'm still the one who is taking care of him. And maybe to take you back, he had come to my house with his colleagues who are footballers. Some of the footballers he was managing from his country. So I had housed him and these four footballers. And along the way, now I started getting broke, and he started going out to bring in some money. And he would go, sometimes he comes home with money and tells me that he has signed a contract with some footballers and all that. So I would believe in him. I believed in him, and I felt that we are a family. He's struggling and he's bringing in something. Now, much later, I came to realize that all this money he was bringing home, he was getting from other women, because he would go and lie to them. I don't know how he would manage to lie to them, and even not bring them. I mean, he would come home every single day, and I don't know how he was managing to do all that. But anyway, it was done. So he would come home and give me money and tell me just a little money here and there just to survive. Then much later, now we were kind of too broke, and when I started knowing that he's being promiscuous, I started feeling bad. Our relationship started having issues, because of course I would question all that. Then I would ask him to move out. He wouldn't. Sometimes we would fight here and there. And much later, sometimes he would even insult me and, tell me all those kinds of funny words. And so to belittle me, kind of, so that I take him in and I take it in and all that. So later on, he started suggesting that he would go back to his country and bring in some, go sell some property and come back. So we agreed that he's going to go. And for him to go, I didn't have money to support him. He didn't have money either. So I sold my car and bought him a ticket. And the rest of the money, we used it just to fill in some gaps that we were having debts here and there. We were having rent arrears, so I paid for all that. I was left without money. And remember, I'm 5 months pregnant. And here I am, I'm not working. And this guy now goes. So he went. Our agreement was that by the time I'm giving birth, he should have come back so that we are together during delivery. So he went and he kept contact, yes. And he would send me some little money here and there. And um, so then I came to give birth, and when I was just about to give birth, like a week to, he called me and told me that he has put in some money in my account. And me, with my big belly, I go to the account and find there's nothing. So
Wow.
I knew that he's just lying. And now that is when I started questioning, am I really saying all, but those things that you say, the Bible says a good woman keeps her home together, those kind of things that we believe in. And I went to the hospital the day of giving birth, and I didn't have money at that time. And a friend of mine helped me with some little money. I paid the bill. The guy also sent some little money much later, and I paid the bill and went back home. At home, I didn't have anyone to take care of me. I only had my son and my now two sons. And much later, now we started just leaving the three of us, and I had a cesarean. So my brother came to help me out. Later, a few weeks later, I got a house help who stayed with me for only 1 month because I could not afford to pay her. And she left. I started working with my unhealed wound, washing, the washing, like, because I had sold a lot of my things in the house. I didn't have money to pay people to help me out. So I would do all that, and even healing my back was a problem. Healing my wound was a problem, but I still healed anyway. So later on, now we saw that because he's not coming, he told me that he has a house back in his country, and instead of him coming, it would be easier for us to go and join him there. So I started considering it, and I agreed that it's okay, we can go. And we agreed that he's going to send us tickets, and I am going to get us passports because the kids didn't have passports. So I got them passports. I remember my baby was very small, about 3 months, and even getting that photo steady was a problem. But anyway, we did that. And for me to do that, I had, because I wasn't working, remember. So I had to sell my house items, my fridge, those small items that were left, because we had left from a big house now to a smaller house. So we only had what that house could accommodate. Then, and maybe to take you back, you remember I mentioned about footballers who are living with us.
Yes.
I lived with them until, even after this guy left, I lived with these men because they are men, they were grown men. I
And
lived
there's
with them
five of
until the
them.
day I was going to the hospital. So imagine, yes, they were four now because the guy had left. So I lived with them until the day of delivery. Going to the hospital, I just asked them, you guys have to move out because now a baby is coming and I need space. They left. They went and got their own place. Then now fast forward again. Uh, we had agreed, now we go. Now I've gotten the passports already, everything is ready. I sold my house items. I even called people to come and pick others. I gave out my belongings and so many other things to some other children homes, and I moved in with my sister just for a period of about 2 weeks before we relocate now to go to this guy's country. And it was a long wait because, first of all, my parents came to see me, and we had visited them at home when he was here, and the guy was in Kenya. And my father did not like him. And my father told me that he feels something is wrong with this guy because at his age, because he was saying he was 40, up to today I still don't know whether he was that I still don't know his age because he was that like a pathological liar. So my father saw something in him that he didn't like, and he cautioned me, and I didn't listen. You know that thing about your parents can see so much far ahead when he's seated. I know that there's an African proverb that says that a parent can see so much far ahead when he's seated, while when you climb a tree, you cannot see.
That's so true.
So I didn't pay attention to that. Now they came to see me of course they came. Yeah, I had convinced them that I will be fine, and they came now to pray for me and just bid me goodbye because now I was going to another country. I was determined to go and put my family together. And of course, they still didn't like it, but the guy talked to them and assured them that everything is going to be fine. And they left back to the village. And I remember even around that time, my friends and my cousins, my family, entire family came to bid me goodbye. They threw a party for me, they held prayers for me, and we waited. Now I had packed a box, just a suitcase, one suitcase of clothes for just few clothes for myself, my sons, and that is the only belonging I had that was left. After all, I'm going to my husband; he's going to take care of me, and within a few weeks or months, because I'm a very aggressive woman, I would get back on my feet and I would start working. So we waited for the tickets, and they never came. We had the last party on a Wednesday, and we were supposed to go on a Friday. And he kept on promising that by Thursday evening you will have the tickets, and they never came. So we waited. I had pulled my kid from school, my firstborn, and we waited. The whole holiday went by. September came, October came, and I realized that this guy is never going to come. So I told him that I've changed my mind about coming. So you arranged to come. And this time round, if you're coming, you come in the right way now. Because I had started sensing things and I would feel that it's not right. What I'm doing even is hurting my parents. And no matter how much determined I am, I could tell that they are not happy about it. So I told him, I'm not going to come to your country. I'm just going to live here, and you come and join us. Then much later now, I was still staying with my sister. Imagine she was to house me for just 2 weeks, but she ended up housing me for 6 months. So now 6 months have gone. I've realized that I'm not ever going, and I had to start asking myself questions. How am I going to live with these kids? I have to get up and start working again. I have to look for money. I have to survive. So I went back to my old friends who would even warn me about this guy, and I never listened. And one of my friends gave me some job in the construction sector. I did some interior design, and I got some money and moved out. And I started my hustle. I started from buying plastic cups. Because here you are, it's not like starting life when you're single, a young girl. It's different because now the money is very limited and you have two children. I have one who is in school. I'm buying diapers, I'm buying, doing all those things and single-handedly. It was really hard, difficult for me, but I still pulled through. And in December, now, just before I moved out, a lady called me from Ghana. This guy is from Ghana. She called me from Ghana and told me that this guy has been lying to me. And I remember I was even talking to his sisters and his mother. earlier on now when we were still living together, and even after he left. And she told me that this guy has been lying to me, and the whole family is with him in the whole plan. And the guy is married. He's married to somebody else for 10 years. And I asked, how do you know? And she said, I know because I'm the wife. And I asked her, where have you been for all this while? And this guy has been posting my photos and my baby's photos on Facebook. Where have you been all along? Why didn't you come through to help a sister, to just tell someone, caution someone that something is going on? Where have you been all this while? And she told me that he lied. He lies so deeply that, in a way, that looking at your eyes, that you can't even tell that he would tell a lie. So he had lied to her that I'm just a friend. I'm a daughter to his landlord where he was living in Kenya, and my son was my brother, my younger brother.
Wow.
Yes, and of course I was totally broken. I don't know. It was really devastating. Now, but I still had to keep on soldiering on. He would call and convince me that they are not together anymore, and the wife would tell me they are living together. He's not been in the house for a week, but he will come. He always comes back, and messed up person. Then later now I started asking so many questions to myself, and I knew that I cannot go on with this. I had to start ending it slowly by slowly. Of course, it didn't end immediately after I realized all this, because he was still calling. And apparently, the son we have together is the only child he has. So he didn't have a child with the wife, but she was there. So I knew that I cannot live with a liar, someone who really lies to me this much. And I I started ending the relationship slowly by slowly. And fast forward, I just started praying to God and asking God, what is it that you created me for? I need to know what that thing is, and I need to know also, how am I going to grow old? Now I have two children here. When I look at my future, I never see poverty. When I look at the eyes of the future, I never see poverty. I never see problems. I want to see that thing that you have put for myself. What is it that what is that thing that I'm designed for, or I've been created for? And these are questions that everyone should be asking themselves, because everybody is here for a reason, and nobody is here to serve themselves, because everyone is here to serve somebody else, or to just touch another person's life. So now, asking myself those questions, I call it a silent prayer, a communication with God. And this communication, for me, I take it very deep, because there is a way, in a way, it's a kind of a prayer, and you believe that God has something for you. So when I was asking these questions, one day I was in town just walking, and I was just walking around. I can't remember where I was going. I was very hungry because I didn't have money to have lunch. And I met a friend of mine who was an architect. He's an architect. And I told him that I'm looking for work. If you can give me anything, even if it's paint work, I will even do it myself. I was ready to even do it myself because I knew how it's done. I needed to do something. Um, so I started now. When I met this guy, he told me, instead of showing you construction or giving you some work, I want to show you something, and I'm inviting you for a certain event. You come and see. So I went for this event, and it was one of his classes. He was having an open day for one of his classes of personal development, and personal development for me, I look at it like a lifesaver, because after we talked and I attended the event, he told me I need to join. I knew I needed to join, and at that time I was praying to God to give me someone to just offer counseling somewhere. I don't know, a miracle, because I knew I couldn't afford it at that time. So when I talked to him, he told me, "You can join the class," and I told him I cannot afford you. And because he knew how aggressive I am, and he had seen what has happened to me, that something, it's like something has come to put a stop into my life. But I needed just someone to hold my hand. And he told me, "Come and join the class, do it for free. I know you'll save lives. I know it will change your life." And I joined. I did it for free, and I finished. I attended all the classes. It was awesome, because for me, it was a daily reflection, and I came to learn so much about myself. It's like you walk the journey of your life since you were young, since that time you can remember. I don't know if you're aware of, you, of course, you must be aware of hypnosis. This the hypnosis that therapists do. But for me,
Yeah.
I look at it like conscious hypnosis. It's conscious because hypnosis you have to be unconscious. But this one, I look at it like you go through the process, but you are looking at your life consciously. So I walked through the journey, and it healed me. I felt every day was feeling different, and still I don't have money, but I started being positive, very positive about life. And since then my life just changed, and everything, I embraced everything in my life. I embraced the pain, because I realized that everything happens for us. Everything that has happened in your life happens for you. It doesn't happen to you. So when I now started realizing that, I started working on the journey of forgiving myself, because I realized that if I do not forgive myself, then I may never be able to forgive another person. So I started now learning myself and trying to connect the dots of how could I do all these things? How could I put my kids in through this kind of a process? How could I be this careless? How could I, all those things? And I now forgave myself, because I knew who I was. I knew that I still have a journey to live. I continued on asking God about my purpose. I discovered that I have had all along my life the gift of just talking to somebody and encouraging them. All my life, I have seen my friends, even from high school, just someone coming to me and talk to me, and when they are going through something, and I would say something like a joke, and this person would take it so seriously, and they will heal themselves. And I realized that I have that gift. And probably God was like seeing, I'm just too blind to see. And He had to let this thing hit me so hard that I would be on a corner for me to open my eyes. And so that's why I say that everything that happens on earth happens for you. And even for now, now maybe to take you back some years after, a year that all this happened in 2015. Now me discovering about this guy and his marriage. In 2016, I lost my father. He got sick and he died, and it was, of course, very devastating. And in 2017, I lost my brother, that one who had come to help me out. He was very dear to me. He was my tight, that tight friend, and that person who would go and borrow for you when he doesn't have, and hide from his wife that he has borrowed for you. He was that kind of a friend to me. I then, a week after, when my brother died, that same week, my house help, who was helping me throughout this journey of healing, she was with me and my kids when we were moving out from my sister all along. She fell sick. And a week after she fell sick, now when we were going to bury my brother, I called her mother to come and pick her, because she was going through medication, but it wasn't responding very well. I had taken her to 3 hospitals, but it was still not working. So I called her mother to come and pick her. We took her to another hospital where she was admitted. We buried my brother on a Saturday. We came back on a Monday. On Tuesday, the mother calls me, the mother to my house help, calls me and tells me that she has just passed away. And yes, and I was like, how unfair could God be to me? Because after going all these things, and then I lose my pillar, lose my father, I lose my friend, lose my brother, and my house help, who was my close, very tight friend. And now, much later, during this process of healing, I started asking myself, if everything happens for you, what does losing these people mean? Because for me, it's still painful. It's pain, and I realized that no matter how bad a situation could be, always keep yourself strong so that no matter because things can get worse, and you have to keep yourself strong, knowing that it could get worse. You're not in control here. Something could trigger or something could happen, and everything you thought was hard becomes harder times 1,000 times. So, what are you going to do? Will you take a rope and hang yourself? No, you have to stay strong. You have to know that you are your own rescue no matter what. And God, with you and with God, you must keep moving. You must keep on relying on Him. You must keep on having faith that He still has good reasons for things to happen, like the way they happened for me. It was very hard, but when I realized, I started asking myself those questions. I realized that I have I can still heal from this, because now I look at my father, my friends, my brother and my friend as they are in heaven. So they are doing much better than they were here. So why am I so sad for them? I should be happy for them, right? So instead, I started being happy and celebrating their lives, and reading and learning things from what their lives taught me. Because every life has something, even the one that has gone has something to teach somebody else. Now, when it comes back to forgiveness, I must say that I forgive this guy. I forgive this guy because, first of all, I must take responsibility for what happened to me, because I had so much to contribute to it. No matter how bad he was, messy he was, and all that, I contributed 100% on my side. I could have done things differently, but I did not. But then again, I started looking at myself and having understood myself and knowing that I have had a path of growing up. And we are all a result of the things that have been, a sum total of the things that have been put in us by our caregivers as we were growing up, and by our friends, by our teachers, and by life itself. We are a sum total of all that. So then, if I was a sum total of something like that, and I put myself of all that, and I put myself into this, then I took myself and put myself in his shoes. Where he grew up, he has had a sum total of issues. He has had caregivers who has taken him through maybe issues that he turned out to be the kind of person he was. And I realized that it is wrong. You don't exonerate the wrong, but you forgive for you to heal and move forward. You have to keep moving forward, and forgiveness is for you. It is not for the other person. You don't even have to tell them that you've forgiven them. If you look at the prayer, our Lord's prayer, when the disciples asked Jesus, please teach us how to pray. Our Lord's Prayer, the only place we are asked by the Lord to do something in return is to forgive. Because He tells us, forgive us our sin. We tell Him, forgive us our sins as we forgive others. So, first of all, we forgive so that we can be forgiven. Everything else in that prayer is asking, asking, asking. So, then what is our responsibility? To be given. It is to serve, it is to forgive, it is to be there for somebody else. When you forgive, you heal yourself, you free yourself, because it is godly, it is what our Lord Jesus Christ gave us as a gift. It is a gift for yourself. So forgiveness is, you might, somebody somewhere is hurting so bad and wishing somebody else dead. Somebody right now has been stabbed by a spouse. Somebody right now has been maybe shot dead by someone who has their money. But what are you doing to yourself? What are you doing to your life? Instead of healing and moving forward and looking ahead, moving past your pain. So we have to learn to forgive ourselves. And the first person you must forgive always is yourself, because if you gave someone money and they did not return it back, then it means that you were careless enough to trust them before, maybe before they showed that they could be trusted. So we always, everything that happens in our lives is something that we have contributed to. So for me, just encouraging people to learn to forgive.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that wonderful story and the courage to even share the story to the world. And like I started saying, you were sharing your story just to empower and encourage somebody else, not for people to come feel pity for you, because you're not in that place of pity. You're telling this story with full confidence and you're smiling through it. So you truly encourage me. I was going to ask you that, when you started living with this guy, didn't you see any trigger? But you've answered every single questions that I was gonna ask you. You accepted your faults, that you were wrong in so many ways. And yeah, I don't know what to say, but to say thank you for sharing this story. We have another 8 minutes. I would just quickly open the floor for questions from our audience and my co-host, Dr. Mokolo, if she has any contribution and questions. But before I even do that, how are your two boys? Because they are boys, right?
My two boys are real boys. When we began,
Okay.
boys and the age gap and sibling rivalries. For me, it's huge. But they are great kids. They're loving. I love them dearly, and they are responsible. Right now, because my son has seen that we are taking long, he's already cooking for us. I mean, he's already warming the dinner. So, yeah.
Wow.
So yeah,
And that's
I'm
the
happy.
point I wanted to bring out. The point I wanted to bring out is, we have a lot of focus on the female children. We train them how to become good wives, good mothers. We constantly teach them good morals. That's where you
Yeah.
got your strength from. But we forget that the male child is going to become a father someday, a husband, a friend to somebody out there. And we don't put much emphasis or much effort in training the male child so that he will know the value of another human being and may not have done what he did to you. So
Mm,
from your story, what learning from it, you had two children, boys, that went through this whole experience with you, because I didn't
mhm,
hear anywhere you said I had to take boys away. They lived this experience with you. And some of the times we think because they're so young, they don't understand. That's not true. A child is already hearing the voice of the mother right from when they're conceived in your stomach. At least
mm,
science has proven that. So they feel, they hear, they see. And you are teaching your children now. You're saying one of your sons are cooking. So if a boy like that gets married, he will know that my wife is very busy. Let me help my wife to make dinner. So you're
yeah.
teaching them great things. That's fantastic. So my message to everyone listening to us right now, and maybe listening to this, watching this broadcast much later, is do not lay most of your emphasis and your trainings and your values on just the girl child. If you have
Yeah.
male children at home, my co-host has four boys, and I tell you, when I
Wow.
watch them with their mom online, I get so jealous. They're like everything every woman will want to have in the home. For
Wow.
me, such are being trained to love. They're being trained to care because they're already showing love to mom. Mom will sit down talking with me. You see, mom will come and bring a well prepared, set out plate of food, not just rice and stew slam onto the plate. They take their time to set
Yeah.
the meat sauce in place. I'm talking what I'm saying. Some of them will come in and just give her a kiss. They're showing love because they're being taught how to love. So, guys, if you have male children, train them to be better husbands and friends and family members and fathers out there. It's super important, that we do this. When this guy came into your life, I am pretty sure, like you said, he had issues growing up. If not, he would know that doing this to a human being, anybody, you took that
Yeah.
into a positive light, and today you own your own business, and not just that, you are training young people to even become entrepreneurs and to believe in themselves. Tell us a little bit about Angelica Chivas before we start taking questions from the audience.
Well, Angelique Achievers is a business that I opened. I call it my baby because it is a baby that was born out of growth, out of understanding life better, out of going through the university of life, and I look at it like
I like that.
something for something that I use to help other people, young, old, and yeah, both young and old. And like you said, the boy child feels neglected or has been neglected, and it is very true. And we are not forgetting that the boy child needs someone to hold their hand. We are not forgetting that the boy child needs to learn that women or human beings are supposed to be treated with respect and regard of life and all that. So I'm not forgetting all that. I have trained my children to know because I have been through the process. I use what I do for my clients to even train my children on how to grow up to be responsible human beings, not just responsible men, but responsible human beings, people who are out to create a difference in a society, but not to just take, but those who are out to give, those who are out to share. So Angelique Achievers is my baby, it's like my pillar or my tool that I use now to touch other people's lives. I train on healing, I train on forgiveness, I train on growth and clarity of purpose and personal development. So it's open for the world for the world to receive it because I believe it's a message. I have a message for the world, not just for few, for just a few
Yeah.
number.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much, everyone watching us. Apostle Sam, all the way from the Philippines. Thank you. God bless you. Blue Butterfly, I see you. Sister Gladys, Celestina, Susan West, all the way from London. I have a lot of my Nigerian guys watching. And also, our Denzel Washington, Nigerian actor, Hollywood actor, Nika Ogastoke, is live online with us. God bless you for your support. Thank you all so very much. Please remember to follow Angela Nzilani on YouTube. Subscribe to her YouTube channel. Let us use her story to inspire and touch lives out there. I have a statement from Celestina Glavi. She said, Angela, thanks for sharing your story. It's really empowering. You are a very courageous woman. May God continue to give you strength. Amen. Thank you so much.
Amen.
See, Dr. Mokolo.
Yeah, we're running out of time, but I want you to talk to us a little bit about how you overcame the financial, the economic challenges of suddenly finding yourself as a single income earner, the head of a household. Yes.
For me, how
Yeah,
I started, it was difficult, yes, very difficult, and it has been a difficult journey financially. But being at the place that I am emotionally, I have come to realize that it is not me who is going to provide for myself, and I hardly worry about that. I worry about how better I can become to be able to have more message for somebody else. And somehow God comes through for me. And I get a small job here and there. I'm called to a school to go and speak. I go to a church and speak. And I started as a, as I didn't know anything much about public speaking, but I used to have butterflies that my diaphragm would hurt really deep. But I learned through the journey, and I encouraged myself and told myself that fear cannot be my companion, but instead I'm going to look at whenever I feel fear, I look at it like anxiety, because everything we tell ourselves is what comes to pass. So if I tell myself that I'm just anxious, I am not stressed or depressed about this, I will still soldier on. So I realized that my miracles are in my hands, and I just need to open up my arms to give, and then God somehow replaces that. If you look at your arm, you have an M on your arm. Everybody has that M. And that M stands for your miracles are in your hands. Yes, exactly that. Everybody has that M. And when I knew that this M really stands for miracle, when I discovered that, first thing was to look at my children's hands, and I realized they also have a name. And I tell everyone in class when I'm teaching, look at your arm. If you can see an M, then ask me. And everyone would say, yes, I have an M. So if your miracles are in your hands, what is it that you can do to just get that? Get that miracle? You just need to claim it. You just need to manifest. And most of the things, including this show, have been manifestations for me. Everything for you, Finamina, to even have told me, it was a manifestation. You can testify to the audience that there was no connection between us. It is just
No,
happened. You get to learn about me through
it's
media
just
social
God.
care. Yeah.
Yes.
So for me,
And then we started talking as if we have seen each other. Today is actually the first day that I'm seeing
yes,
you. Yeah, I was listening to when you were telling the story how you started transforming your life into, becoming successful again. One thing that I picked out from there, you said you were walking, you didn't know where you were going, but then you met one of your old colleague and you said, I need a job. He's an architect. And you were not
yeah,
ashamed to ask. That was where it all started. You knew,
yes,
you recognized your problems, you identify your needs, and you went for it. By asking that first question, whatever it is, give it to me, I'm going to do it. Coming from a very successful background into to ground zero, and then building back up, one of the things that you shared that I picked up was you were not afraid to ask, even if the guy was going to say no. And then you identified your problems and you recognize that for me to change this, I got to do something, and you took action by
yeah,
asking that first question. And that was where, you started getting jobs here. And not just that, another thing that you shared that was so powerful was you took on personal development, because you said to yourself, okay, if this is going to become my new norm, then I need to train myself in that area so that I can get better. So I really really learned from you, and I'm pretty sure a lot of the audience have learned great lessons from you today that they're going to take with themselves and go change their lives. My other friend, Barrister Hexiba, she's a lawyer out of Toronto, Canada, and she's saying, feel the fear and do it afraid. That is my story. That is my story. Dr. Mokolo can attest to this. I stepped into social media knowing nada. All I knew was to post my picture on Facebook, and that was it. But I decided I was going to feel the fear and do it afraid. Why do we talk about feeling the fear and do it afraid? I'll tell you why. When you get into your car at night, the whole neighborhood is dark. The only thing that you are hoping on is your windshield in front and the lights, the headlights in your car, you know for the fact that you're going to be traveling, for example, another 100 kilometers in this highway and in the dark, but you're trusting the headlight on your car to open up every 10 to 15 kilometers, the next 10 to 15 kilometers. So if you're trusting a machine that man put together, why won't you trust the God that created that man that put the machine together to lead you on his path? Why not? So, guys, I might be sitting here all pretty and decked up. My life is feeling the fear and doing it afraid. That's where the real trust in God comes in. So I encourage all of you to begin to feel your fear and go do that thing being afraid. God is going to do the rest. When Dr. Mokolo came on the show the first time to tell you guys that I do remember what people are saying on this show, that was like what? Almost 20 days ago or more. I still remember one word that you said. You said, when you don't step out in faith to do the thing that you want to do, you will never achieve that thing. And that word stayed with me. You always have to step out in faith. And another thing, you said that when you start doing that thing in faith, God is going to open up the how. And that stuck with me. So in
Fly,
any
and you will find your wings. If you don't try to
exactly.
fly,
So
you're never gonna discover your wings.
exactly. So whatever I do today, I always just go by faith, hoping that, knowing that the next phase is gonna open up. Thank you so much, Angela, for today. I know there are few questions, but I'm trying to keep the show under 1 hour, even though we have some technical difficulty from the beginning, which we will edit out. So we're going to just take one or two questions from the audience. Dr. Mokolo, I'll leave the floor for you while I get the question for her.
After the audience or now?
Oh no, you can go ahead. I will just pick one or two questions from the
Oh,
audience, if you don't mind,
fine.
Angela, because she has to go to eat. She has to go for
No, it's
supper with
okay.
her family.
It's all
Yeah, well,
right. They understand.
this has been wonderful just to, reinforce some of the things you talked about and to encourage everyone that resilience is the key. You talked about, not giving up. You talked about stepping out of your comfort zone. You talked about you being your own rescue. And, something I'm never going to forget, you said things don't happen to you, they happen for you. I'm never going to forget
I
that
love
line. That's
that.
important.
Yes,
Yes.
I love that
Yeah.
line. Yes, yes. All right. So one of the questions is, why didn't you all of this time that you were living with this guy make an effort, since you were doing so well, to go visit his family in Ghana?
Well, I visited. First step was we visited our family here, my parents, and we kept on planning to visit his family. And when you have something to hide, you always find a reason to stop someone from showing up to find that digging out the truth. So obviously I couldn't travel alone to go to his family. I had to travel with him, and there was always a reason why we cannot travel. There was always a reason why something has come up, or there's work and all that. So I wouldn't say that I was very blind on that. I knew that I needed to, and we would talk about us traveling to go and visit his family is back in his country, and he would counter attack it with, my parents will be coming first, they need to come here first, that, and kind of even try to tell me that that is how it is done in their country, that their parents need to come here, so that when I'm going, then my parents know that I'm going to their home. So and their home when they already know his parents.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
already know that answer, but I wanted you to respond to it. So the next question was, your first date. Your first date, you said that you were the one that paid for the meal. Was that not supposed to be a trigger right away?
It was supposed to, but me being me and the girl that I was, and then I had been into Ghana before. So I knew the rates of exchange for Kenyan money and Ghana money. So when we went to his ATM earlier on, I looked at his balance and knew this guy is broke. So I could tell. And then when I paid when I went, we had dinner and the bill came. You know, when you're the gentleman, you just pick it right away and look at it, or just when it's time to pay, you pick the bill and you don't even allow the woman to go for the bill. But I picked the bill. He didn't look at it. I think that time he was even on phone, and I I just took it and I paid and we went on. And I should have seen that as a red flag, but I did not because I I think I excused everything that he was just doing. I don't know. So
Because you were in love. And there's nothing wrong with being in love. But my
yeah,
yeah, there's nothing
You were in
wrong in being in love.
love.
But right?
I was in
But my
yeah.
Angela, let's just drive this to reality before I let you go.
Mhm.
Here I am, found this guy that I'm in love with, and I'm thinking there's going to be a future. I bring him very quickly. He moved into my big, massive place. I saw the picture of your place, by the way, was gorgeous. And he moved in. Then he comes to me and say, you know what? I have four other guys that is coming in with me.
He moves in with the
But
party.
Yeah,
go
I must say that I
ahead.
was in love.
Yeah.
I met
So
someone
weren't you
who was
afraid?
I met someone who was saying the right things that I needed to hear at that time. And I kind of had stayed for long without hearing these things. And I enjoyed it. And I believed in, because I
How
think
cute!
even the way
How cute
I
was he?
grew up,
So Anita has a very
I,
good.
okay.
How cute does he look? How cute does he look?
Oh, God. No, let me not, because I know somehow he's going to watch. I've
Is he
grown
a
up
hunk
to
of masculinity?
I have grown up not to belittle anyone or make anyone feel bad, even my enemies. So I will not share about his looks and all that. It doesn't really matter. What matters is
That's
the soul. And his
yeah.
soul was broken at that time. I don't know whether it is okay now.
Anita said, we Ghanaians, we want our women to pamper us. So Anita is watching from Sweden. So maybe because you started pampering him and then he too fell in love and didn't know what to do. We got to excuse the man too, you know. Sometimes, like you said, they come from broken families and maybe he didn't expect to fall in love with you and suddenly he fell in love and now, oh my God, I'm married, I'm loving this guy. What am I going to do? And then he just decided, let me just keep dragging it until whenever. And a child, a beautiful thing came out of it. So again,
Yeah.
thank you so very much. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And yeah, and maybe even to add on that, as much as you want to look at him from the dirty side, the bad side, God loves him as equally as he loves me.
That's
God gave him a son through me, through all these events. And he never had a child with his wedded wife, but he had
no,
a child with me. We never know why God does some things the way they're done. And every creation is of God. So for me, yes, I don't excuse his behaviors. I don't excuse his manners, but I I forgive from looking at all these things because he is loved by God equally as I am. I am not any special. I have made
that's
my
right.
own mistakes and I keep on making them because I am human. Everyone makes mistakes and we must learn to grow from these mistakes. And we must also learn to grow from our pain because we have to keep on focusing. And one thing about even healing pain is stopping to focus on the pain, but instead focus on growing to something different because whatever we focus on grows and
That's
whatever we stop focusing on diminishes. If you want your pain to diminish, you have to stop focusing on the pain and start focusing on something different that you want to grow into.
Mhm.
So I don't focus on the pain or the heart or all those things, but looking
Thank you
ahead.
so much, Angie, for your time on the show. Susan Westcott from London, she's watching. She has her own show too. And this Sunday, she has something
Wow.
special. I'll tell you guys later about it. She said that you are very special. And thank you, Susan, for that kind word. Barista said again, all creatures are valuable the eyes of God in the eyes of God. I love your heart, Angela. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for those wonderful comments coming in. Um, yeah, so Sister Gladys said that thank you for recognizing your pain and turning it into a transformation life for yourself. The Lord bless you. I'm going to just release you right now to go have dinner with your family. We love you very much. And hopefully, there should be a movie coming out of this story.
Oh, yes, that is my other dream. Oh.
We
I may
are
the Lord hear that prayer.
Man, I'm an actress, so let me know, and I got producers, so we can get something
Oh,
going right there.
awesome, awesome. The
Bless you
book is
and keep
coming.
smiling. Keep smiling. That is the beauty.
Thank you.
That was what actually attracted me to you. Hearing your story through smiling. That was what attracted me. So never give up your smile. God bless you and
Thank
have a
you.
wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you so much.
All right, Dr. Mokolo.
Focus on growth. Focus on
Yeah.
where you're going. Don't,
Yes.
celebrate your pain. Get over
Super,
it and focus on, growth.
super important. Yes, super important. I read something from Winifred Newman, and I will quote it. He said, "Vision is the world's most desperate need. There are no hopeless situations, only people who think hopelessly." End of quote. And that stood out for me when I listened to Angela's situation and her story. There are no situations out there that is hopeless. It's only human beings that are walking through those situations that begins to feel and speak the language of hopelessness. Then it becomes a reality. There are solutions to every problem. And like Angela said, I believe with her that the solutions are in our hands. I strongly,
Miracle.
yes.
It was the
So
first time I was learning about that. That
it's the
you know,
first time I heard it too when I interviewed her behind the scene. Is the first time.
wow,
Yeah, that's very profound. So, guys, every time you come on
miracles,
a show, there's always
miracles.
something for you to take away. So, in your palms, there are miracles. The lines in your palm stands for miracle. So, begin to look into that and see how you can begin to erupt miracles by your hand in your life, trusting God. I'll say that
So
again.
that things will happen for you and not to you.
Not to you. I love that.
For
So,
you.
we're gonna say that again. Look in your hands. See the lines in your hands. Look at it as an M that stands for miracle. So begin to erupt miracles in your life, trusting God, so that things will begin to happen for you and not to you.
For you. For you.
So I rest my case. See you all soon tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow is going to be another very unique show. We are going to be talking to the shortest woman that ever lived on the face of the earth with 7 billion people, over 7 billion people. Her name is Jyoti Amaj. She is 24-inch tall,
Wow.
24-inch tall. And she has complete everything in her body. She is the most tenacious, proud person I've ever spoken to. Her belief in herself will get to you right away. So I'm super excited to have Jyoti. She is in the Guinness Book of Record as the shortest woman that has ever lived. And she's a superstar acting movies now in Hollywood. So believe that. If she can do all of this, what excuse do we have out there? So tomorrow we're going to be having Jyoti live on the Phenomena Show. Don't miss out. Come listen to Jyoti's story out of India. So until then, if my co-hosts have nothing else to say, we would call it a goodbye and have the rest of your day in beauty, joy, and bliss. So keep watching the Queen Amina Show, host watch parties, and help others to enjoy the broadcast. Thank you all so very much for watching.
Bye, everyone.